Imagine this scenario. It's a standard Tuesday evening. You just got home from work, maybe a little tired, but everything is fine. You're having dinner with your family or your partner, or maybe you're just washing dishes by yourself. Suddenly, smash! A glass slips from your hand. It hits the tiled floor and shatters. Water splashes onto your pants, shards of glass scatter everywhere. Now, let's slow down the moment right after that. Logically, this is a minor accident. It's a $2 glass. It's a puddle of water that takes 5 minutes to clean up. It's no big deal. A normal reaction would be to say, oh well, grab a broom and move on with life. But that is not what happens to you. In a split second, something explodes in your chest. Your heart starts pounding like a wild animal is charging at you. Your throat tightens. And then a wave of scorching, uncontrollable rage hits you. You scream, you curse, you feel an urge to smash everything in sight. Or the opposite happens. You completely freeze, shrinking into a ball of fear, feeling like the world just ended and you are the most useless person on earth. 5 minutes later, the floor is clean, and you sink into a chair. Your hands are still shaking, and a heavy, familiar feeling washes over you. Shame. You ask yourself, why did I react like that? Why did I lose my mind over a broken glass? That isn't me. And here is the shocking truth I want to tell you right now. You are right. That isn't you. That rage, it didn't start with the broken glass today. That paralyzing fear, it doesn't belong to your current life. It is an uninvited guest, a ghost that has been living in your nervous system, hiding in your DNA code long before you were even born. Maybe it's your grandfather's helpless rage when he lost everything in the war. Maybe it's your grandmother's constant terror fleeing bombs and famine. Maybe it's your mother's silent pain living in a cold marriage where she never dared to speak up. They went through horrific trauma, but they didn't have the tools, the language, or the time to heal. They pushed that pain down, packed it into an invisible, emotional backpack. And then, in a family relay race, they unknowingly passed that heavy bag on to your parents. And your parents passed it on to you. You are carrying the unresolved pain of the past. You are refighting wars you never enlisted in. In psychology, we call this intergenerational trauma, or in more everyday language, it is called emotional inheritance. And the most dangerous part? Most of us don't even know we're carrying it. We think we just have a bad temper, or we're just anxious people. We blame ourselves, we sabotage our relationships, our careers, and our own happiness because of chain reactions we can't even understand. But you are watching this video, which means something inside you has woken up. You are tired of carrying someone else's luggage. In today's special video, a deep dive blueprint, we aren't just going to talk theory. We are going to perform a psychological exorcism together. I'm going to help you see the invisible strings that are pulling your strings. I will explain to you, in plain English, how your grandmother's memories can actually live in your genes. And most importantly, I will give you the specific tools to cut this chain. There is a powerful saying, trauma runs in the family until it runs into someone ready to feel it and heal it. That someone can be you. Right now, take a deep breath. We are going ghost hunting. Welcome to the engine room of the mind. Before we get into the details of how this ghost sabotages your relationships or your career, we need to answer the biggest question your logical brain is probably screaming right now. How the hell is that even possible? How can my grandmother's fear, an abstract emotion, crawl into my body, a physical entity? I didn't see what she saw. I wasn't there. To understand this, I want you to forget the dry textbooks for a moment. Instead, I want you to visualize a relay race. Imagine your grandparents are on the track, but this isn't a smooth, flat Olympic track. It's a battlefield. There are bombs, there is famine, there is betrayal, there is panic migration. They are running, stumbling, bleeding, but they are not allowed to stop.
To survive, their bodies have to change. Their hearts have to beat permanently faster to be ready to run. Their senses have to be 10 times sharper to detect danger. They grip the relay baton tight, a baton covered in sweat, tears, and blood. And then they pass that baton to your parents. Your parents, who might not be on a battlefield anymore, grab that baton and unconsciously keep running with that same tense posture. And finally, they pass it to you. You are standing in a peaceful stadium with blue skies and white clouds, but you are holding a baton from a war. Your body is reacting as if there are bombs falling, even though the only sound around you is the tapping of an office keyboard. That is the essence of emotional inheritance. But biologically, how does it actually work? This is where we talk about a word that sounds scary, but is actually fascinating. Epigenetics. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a biology lecture. Imagine your genome is like a giant grand piano. This piano has about 20,000 keys. Those are your genes. These keys are fixed. You have a brown eyes key, a curly hair key, a height key. You can't change the keys. That's the hardware. But who is the pianiste? The pianiste is the environment and life experience. This is the software. When your grandmother went through a massive trauma, like living through extreme poverty, the pianiste inside her changed the way the song was played. To survive, that pianiste took duct tape and taped down the calm key so it couldn't make a sound anymore. At the same time, they took a hammer and smashed the hoarding key and the anxiety key, jamming them permanently in the on position. Your grandmother survived thanks to that harsh melody. But the miracle and the tragedy of nature is this. When she gave birth to your mother, and your mother gave birth to you, that piano was copied exactly as is, duct tape included. You were born, and your calm key was taped shut from day one. You don't know why you can't relax. You don't know why you feel a sense of scarcity even when your bank account is full. It's not your fault. Those are the pieces of tape from the past. And if you're still skeptical, thinking this sounds too philosophical, let me tell you about a famous experiment that shook the scientific world: the cherry blossom experiment. Scientists at Emory University did something cruel but enlightening with mice. They exposed male mice to the smell of cherry blossoms. As soon as that sweet scent wafted in, they gave the mice a mild electric shock. Very quickly, the father mice learned the lesson. Cherry blossom smell equals pain. They started shaking every time they smelled it. Then, these father mice had babies. The baby mice never met their fathers to rule out learning by observation, and they were never shocked. But guess what? The very first time the baby mice smelled cherry blossoms, they cringed in fear. Their heart rates spiked. Their noses actually developed more receptors to detect that specific smell. And even crazier, their grandchildren, the third generation, were still afraid of the cherry blossom smell, despite never feeling pain. The memory of the pain was written into the sperm, into the egg, and became a survival instinct. Now, look at yourself. Is there a cherry blossom smell in your life? Maybe you are terrified of intimacy, even though your partner is wonderful, because your grandmother was betrayed. Maybe you are terrified of going broke, even though you are wealthy, because your grandfather lost everything. Maybe you fear loud voices, conflict, or abandonment. These are the ghosts in your biological machine. We are not blank slates. We are books that are already half written. But here's the good news. Epigenetics is bi-directional.
Stop it!
If bad experiences can tape down the keys, then good experiences, healing, and awareness can peel the tape off. You are not sentenced to life in prison by your ancestors' past. You have the power to rewrite the music. And in the next section, we're going to go deep into identifying exactly which ghost is haunting you.
We've talked about mice and pianos, but you aren't a mouse, and your home isn't a lab. So what do these ghosts actually look like in real life? How do your parents, who might love you very much, accidentally hand you a hot potato full of burning trauma without even realizing it. To understand this, we need to dive into 3 levels: the messengers, the roles, and the symptoms. The 4 messengers: how parents passed the trauma. Your parents didn't wake up one morning and think, "I'm going to traumatize my kid today." They were simply acting out a script they memorized from their own parents. Here are the 4 most common messengers you might recognize. 1. The anxious helicopter, the fearmonger. This is the parent who sees danger everywhere. The origin? Maybe your grandmother lost a child to illness or lived through a war. She taught your mother, "The world is unsafe. If you look away for 1 second, you die." The manifestation? Your mother micromanages your every move. She calls you 20 times a day. She forbids you from climbing trees or traveling far. She silently transmits the message, "You are weak and the world is terrifying." The result? You grow up with chronic anxiety. You never take risks. You always feel like something bad is just about to happen. 2. The emotionally absent, the stone wall. They might be there physically, cooking dinner, paying the bills, but emotionally, they are a brick wall. The origin? Maybe your grandfather was a soldier returning from war who froze his heart to stop feeling the pain. He taught your dad, "Men don't cry. Emotions are weakness." When you were sad, your dad looked away or told you to stop crying. No hugs, no deep talks. The result? You grow up with a core belief: my emotions are a burden to others. You become hyper-independent, never asking for help because you are terrified of rejection. 3. The projector, the vicarious dreamer. This is the parent who sees their child as a second chance to fix their own life. Your mom wanted to be a doctor, but had to drop out to raise her siblings. That regret turned into an obsession. She pushes you relentlessly. If you get an A, she asks why it wasn't an A+. She doesn't see you. She only sees her unfinished dream grafted onto your face. The result? You become an achievement addict, but you feel empty inside. You don't know who you are without the gold medals. 4. The silent treatment family, the secret keepers. These are families with an elephant in the room that no one dares to name. A suicide, an alcoholic uncle, a bankruptcy. The mechanism? The silence is scarier than yelling. Children are incredibly intuitive. They sense the tension, but no one explains it to them. The result? You grow up with extreme confusion. You learn to not trust your own gut because your gut says something is wrong, but the adults say everything is fine. You constantly doubt your own reality. The roles you were forced to play. To survive in these environments, you, as a child, had to put on a mask. You had to play a role to keep the family balanced. And the tragedy is, you usually carry that role into your adult life. 1. The parentified child, the caretaker. If your parents were too immature, too fragile, or struggling with addiction, you had to become their parent. You were the mediator when they fought. You were the therapist when mom cried. The cost? You lost your childhood. As an adult, you constantly attract partners who are broken so you can continue to fix and caretake them. You feel guilty whenever you do something just for yourself. 2. The golden child, the trophy. You were the family's pride and joy. Good grades, obedient, perfect. The cost? The love you received was conditional love. You were only loved when you performed. Inside, you are a toxic perfectionist, terrified that if you fail even once, everyone will abandon you. 3. The black sheep, or rather, the truth teller. This is the most painful role, but also the most powerful one. And I'm guessing many of you watching this video right now are the black sheep. You are the only one who dared to say, something is wrong with this family. You were the rebel. You refused to follow the script. The family usually isolates you, calling you the problem child. Why? Because you threaten their fake stability. You are pointing at the elephant in the room. The good news? In family psychology, the black sheep is often the mentally healthiest person because you are the only one who refused to drink the family poison. You are the chosen one to break the chain, the cycle breaker. The symptoms in your life today. How do you know if you are still being puppeteered by these old scripts? Look for these 3 signs in your adult life. 1. Trauma reenactment in love. Do you find yourself constantly dating people who are exactly like your mom or dad? If your dad was cold and distant, you are subconsciously attracted to emotionally unavailable men. Why? Because your subconscious is trying to rewrite the ending. Your inner child thinks, "This time, I will make this cold man love me. If I can do that, I will finally heal the old wound with dad." But sadly, it rarely works. You are just replaying a sad movie. 2. Foreboding joy, the fear of happiness. It sounds crazy, but many of us are actually terrified of being happy. When everything is going well, your job is great, your partner is sweet, you suddenly feel panic. You start waiting for the other shoe to drop. Why? Because in your family growing up, moments of peace were usually just the calm before the storm. You were programmed to believe that if I get too happy, the universe will punish me. 3. Chronic hypervigilance, the body at war. Do you have chronic neck or back pain, gut issues, insomnia? Do you jump at loud noises? That is your body screaming. It is still stuck in your grandmother's survival mode. It never got the memo that the war is over.
If you recognized yourself in the stories we just shared, you might be feeling heavy right now. You might be thinking, "Oh God, I'm broken. This past is too big to fix." But listen to me. Awareness is 50% of the healing. The moment you see the puppet and the strings, you are no longer the puppet. You become the observer. And now, let's cut those strings. Here is the Cycle Breaker's Blueprint, a 4-phase strategy you can start today. Phase 1, the emotional genogram, mapping the ghost. Don't just think about this. Get a pen and paper. We are going to draw a family tree, but not for birthdays or anniversaries. The action? Draw your grandparents, your parents, and yourself. Next to each name, don't write their job title, write their patterns. Example: Grandpa, alcoholic, emotionally shut down. Grandma, silent sufferer, played the victim. Dad, short-tempered, distant. Mom, chronically anxious, controlling. The goal: when you see this diagram on paper, you will realize something earth-shattering. My anger isn't mine. It's my grandfather's anger flowing through my dad to me. Seeing this repetition helps you separate yourself from the problem. You aren't evil, you are just a link in a broken chain. Phase 2, the return to sender protocol. This is a powerful psychological visualization exercise to release the invisible burden. The practice: close your eyes, visualize yourself standing in front of your parents or grandparents. Imagine you are wearing a heavy backpack filled with the anxiety, shame, and fear they passed down to you. The script: visualize yourself taking that backpack off, placing it gently at their feet, and saying, silently or out loud, "Mom, this is your fear. I respect your pain, but I cannot carry it for you anymore. I am returning it to you. Dad, these are your expectations. They are too heavy for me. I'm leaving them where they belong." Why it works? The brain doesn't differentiate much between vivid imagination and reality. This act of returning helps your subconscious understand that the responsibility has been transferred back to you. You are free. Phase 3, the boundary blueprint, the gray rock method. You cannot heal if you keep drinking poison every day. You need to establish boundaries with your family, whether they are still alive or passed away. With living but toxic parents,
It is very hard to change them, so change your reaction. Use the gray rock method. When they start criticizing, complaining, or emotionally manipulating you, become as boring as a gray rock. Don't argue, don't cry, don't explain. Only reply with, "Okay, I see. I'm sorry you feel that way." When you stop providing emotional fuel, your reaction, they will eventually lose interest in attacking you. Dealing with the guilt. When you set boundaries, you will feel guilty. Remember this, guilt is the price of freedom. It is better to feel a little guilty than to live a lifetime of resentment. Phase 4, reparenting yourself. This is the final and most beautiful step, upgrading the operating system. If your parents couldn't give you the safety, validation, or love you needed, stop looking for it in your partner or your boss. Give it to yourself. The action, become your own ideal parent. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself like your parents did, tell your inner child, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's try again." When you are scared, reassure yourself, "I'm here with you. I will protect you. We are safe." The goal? You are overwriting the old programming with a new code of self-love and self-compassion.
We have come a long way in this video, from the shattered glass on the kitchen floor to the mice afraid of cherry blossoms, and finally to the blueprint for your own liberation. I know, this journey isn't easy. Being a cycle breaker is a lonely and painful job. Your family might not understand you. They might say you've changed, that you're being difficult, or that you're betraying tradition. But I want you to remember this. You are doing the bravest work a human being can do. When you heal yourself, you aren't just saving your own life. You are traveling back in time to soothe the pain of the inner child within your parents, the ones who never got the chance to heal. And more importantly, you are changing the flow of the future. Imagine your children or the future generations of your lineage. They won't have to carry that heavy backpack anymore. They will receive a new legacy from you, not one of fear or silence, but one of courage, compassion, and freedom. The trauma has flowed through generations, but it stops with you. It ends right here, right now. I want to leave you with one final question before we go. If you could choose one negative family pattern to vow never to repeat again, what would it be? Write it down in the comments below. Let the comment section become a monument to our collective courage. When you write it down, you are officially separating it from who you are. If this video touched you, please share it with someone you know who is silently fighting their family's ghosts. And don't forget to subscribe to Psych Blueprint. Every week, we send you new blueprints to help you build a resilient mind and a designed life. Thank you for your bravery. I'll see you in the next video.